There's no issue in the black communities when it comes to crime.
Our issue is white supremacy. Everything negative in black society comes from your community. Without any
What?
exception, your community controls the drugs, the guns, the economic deprivation. And in black society, only a very small fraction of black society engages in criminality. But the ones who do, it's orchestrated by the white supremacists. It's orchestrated by your community.
Okay, so the white community is causing gang warfare in Southside Chicago?
Yeah.
In
Yes.
Philadelphia and all of those, it's all due to white. What is the benefit? Why would we
This
want
gang warfare, there's no gang warfare. There's no gang warfare. There's street shit going on a couple of city blocks. It's no gang warfare. Gang warfare is when the white supremacists, your brethren, go into countries and wipe out whole people. That's warfare. No one kills more people than white supremacists in recorded history. No one steals more than white supremacists in recorded history, sir. So talking about some black folks in Chicago on a 4 or 5 city block when you guys murder and commit genocides of whole nations of people, that's a bad faith argument.
When?
The warfare is when your community, the white community, ship in all of the crack and the meth and the fentanyl and then sit it down in those so-called black communities that they created. See, that's the criminality that your community orchestrates. They bring all of the criminal elements in order for us to get caught up in. That's your community.
Okay, at what point does it become
people,
the responsibility of the black community, though?
When we try to take responsibility and create our own communities without your meddling, you guys sabotage it. We can't create our own crime-free communities without the white supremacist brethren of yours coming in and sabotaging everything we do. When we create a Black Wall Street, your community comes in and blows it up. We created black communities in Wilmington that were prosperous. Your community came in and destroyed it. We created prosperous communities out here in Los Angeles. Your community came in and did freeways and railroads to specifically sabotage our areas. When we built neighborhoods like Bruce's Beach, your community came in and took the land and said eminent domain. When we had communities in New York like Central Park, which was Seneca Village, your community came in and said, eminent domain, we're going to take it. You black folks will find you somewhere else to go. Your community is the problem. We can't get anything going without being sabotaged by your community over and over. So we have to deal with the white supremacy directly and say we have to focus on you so we can produce justice first.
What is the incentive, though? Why would me as a white man have any incentive to destroy your business?
Sir, to maintain white supremacy. Your community orchestrates that stuff, sir. And a lot of those killings are done by the white supremacists and it gets blamed on black people. Your community floods those neighborhoods with guns. Every other year, there's a train full of guns that just happens to creep up in Chicago or South Central LA. Your community orchestrates that stuff, sir. When we try to clean up the neighborhood, activists and people who try to say, hey, let's not kill each other, your community, the white supremacists, they assassinate people. When you have people like Fred Hampton in Chicago,
of anything that
sir, listen. When you had a Fred Hampton in Chicago, a young black man trying to clean up the community, trying to feed the community, trying to have a free lunch program, your community went in and shot the man in his sleep, sir. Don't sit here and talk about what we don't have, and your community has been terrorizing us nonstop. That's our problem. It all turns to what about black on black crime? Your whole argument was,
I feel like that's
what about
problem,
black on
bro.
black
That
crime?
should be addressed. That really should be addressed.
Dude,
I mean, and that doesn't benefit me as a white man.
Well, no, if you're not worried about giving us no damn resources, what you worried about black on black crime for? It don't affect you. It's just a deflection in order to justify demonizing and punishing black people. That's literally all you suspected white supremacists use that what about black on black crime for. You don't want to rectify it. It could have been fixed years ago. We in the black community have been trying to fix it. We get sabotaged by your community. You care nothing
But
about
you
black
won't
on
even
black
admit
crime.
that it's a problem.
You want black on black crime. You push the criminals out there. Your community pushed those criminals out there. You push the criminal class out there. Y'all let the criminal class run amok. You are the one who give them the drugs to push in the community, sir. Your community is responsible for all black on black crime.
Yeah, well, I would say that that's definitely part of the problem right there. Is now, so you guys bear no responsibility at all for it. It's my
Because
fault.
we can't, if we try to clean it up, we get sabotaged. So it's orchestrated because you guys want it to happen. Because if you have a criminal class, that will fuel the jail system, which is a plantation. That will fuel the militarized police system, which is a big old money-making finesse. So you guys make money off of so-called black criminality and promoting the image of black criminality because it's not as severe as you guys make it to be, but you have to fearmonger the public. There's no warfare going on. There's a couple of city blocks where there are knuckleheads over there that's being wound up by the white supremacists. There's no major warfare. We don't have organized crime syndicates in black society like your community, sir. You have organized crime syndicates that you do nothing about. You have organized pedophile syndicates that you do nothing about. You're not at liberty to point fingers at black people. We have a low crime rate among black people as a whole. Only a very small percentage of black people engage in crime. But you white supremacists, you have a whole criminal disposition. You send money and protect your criminals like the Kyle Rittenhouses. You make heroes of your criminals.
Well,
You
last
make-
I checked, he was acquitted of defending himself against people that were trying to kill him in the street. You know, that's...
Right. See, you make excuses for your criminals. You normalize your criminals and mainstream them and turn your criminals into heroes. We don't do that to a knucklehead in Chicago who goes out and shoots somebody. We don't give them GoFundMe money and parade them around talking about he was just defending themselves. We don't do that. You get the little criminal ass people like Rittenhouse who got illegal guns and did a premeditated killing, and then you turn around and make him into a hero because y'all got on this white supremacist code in the courtrooms. We don't have that, sir. This is how you normalize the criminality within white supremacist society. It's a sick thing, sir, and you're not at liberty to point fingers at any foundational black Americans. Sir.
Okay, listen, this is a stat here. I'm using stats, okay?
Where's the stat from?
13% of the population. 13% of the population commits 52% of the crimes.
Yes.
Are any of those crimes?
No, they don't. No, they
Are
don't. No, they
any-
don't. No, they don't. No, they
any-
don't. No, they don't. No, you're not. You're
not
lying. We don't. No, you're lying. We don't commit 50% of the crime. We just get overly charged for everything. In your community, y'all commit crime all day, every day. You just don't get charged for them, sir. We don't commit no 50% of the crime. You guys get away with literal murder and don't get charged for it, sir. We get criminalized for everything we do. If we have a bag of weed, we get thrown in jail for 20 years. A white man has a bag of weed, hey, put that up and get out of here. You understand? You just don't get charged for the crimes that you do. The white supremacists go out here and they do vile rapes and murders. They get slaps on the wrist. They get released all the time. And again, Kyle Rittenhouse is another example. This man did a premeditated murder. And you're sitting up here talking about he defended himself. That's a criminal. But white supremacy has a whole thing about immunity from law. And then you want to bring up a stat talking about we commit 50% of the crime. That's horse crap. More things are criminalized for black people because we're black. The crime stats for black people have always been high. Going back to Jim Crow. Why? Because more things were illegal for a black person. If a black person drank from a water fountain, that was illegal. If a black person rode on the front of a bus, that was illegal. So yeah, the crime stats are going to be higher. The common law of those crime stats are still here. So things we do are just criminalized more. If we go to a a club somewhere and we're wearing a t-shirt, that's considered a crime because we're considered trespassing because they have a no t-shirt policy, but all the white people can wear t-shirts. So the criminality thing is a white supremacist thing where they subjugate and project that criminality onto us and then come up with these bogus stats, but not putting everything in the right context, sir.